So, probably last video. So, I said I was gonna make this on my community post, and I'm pretty much gonna make it. I don't know how long it's gonna be, but people don't view this, don't see this, what's going on in society for the past more than 100 something years, right? So, I nicknamed this, or I coined it, "Leave No Woman Behind." So they've been working on this for probably more than I think about 20 years, something years, 20 or 30 years at best, to make sure that every single woman is not left behind, or they feel more important than they are. See, back in the 30s and the 20s, the 30s, the 20s and the 30s. Let me check. But when feminism rolled around, they wanted to make sure that they didn't have the ability to be controlled. It was honestly, feminism went back far before the whole marching and asking to vote. But the modern feminism was back in feminism. The modern feminism, because it's real, or it's a real long ass time. Shit. Fucking eye. Something hit my eye. Oh, okay. So, the first wave was in the 19 and the 20 centuries. So, we gotta do it in America. So, if trying to find it. This shit went all the way back, long time. This shit got this. We're gonna do just the America version, because it was all over the world. But let's talk about the West, the American West. So the United States. Check. So that was significant for them to vote. Nineteen. There we go. 1920. So 1920. Now, you got to ask yourself, 1920. 1920, right? 1920 to 2022. And little bit by little bit, they were inching to gain more and more power. Mind you, red pill wasn't a thing. Some of these idiots who pretend that feminism and red pill is the same thing. Well, feminism has a probably 100 and something year head start. 1920. Let's see, 1920. 103 years. 103 years head start. The red pill. The red pill was started in early 2002. So you telling me that feminism has billions and 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 billions of dollars behind it. But it's the same thing. The red pill is only 21 years old compared to it, the early 20s. And we can go all the way back to incel, but we modernize it. So 2002 to 2023, 21 years. Compared to 103. There's no way that red pill is the equivalent of feminism. Because red pill content creators, SYSBM, MGTOW, everybody who has a red, rights for men and standing up for men and talking for men and helping men, we have none. We don't have no backing. We barely get financial backing from people unless we ask, right? I think the first wave was really those who were the genuine women. Then you had the second and the third and the fourth and all of them, and they davied it up. They destroyed it. Now, what they were trying to do, all the other waves, they was trying to make sure that they were not beholden to men. And they also thought that they were going to make sure that all the men in society that didn't make the cut like they did were going to be left behind. They have realized their plan where every single woman is promoted for every little thing. The media is backed by women. A woman's farts on top of a floor. She has an article about her. She breaks up with her husband. She has an article about her. She becomes a plumber. She gets an article about her. She has 15 kids and goes to college. She has an article about her. This society is now built on leave no woman behind. Don't never let anybody tell you to date on your level, because the fact is nobody telling women to date on their level. Women who date on their level, they're just waiting to ride a guy that is better looking than her husband. Should I break it down to the female cops who's sleeping with their co-workers, or the female cop who slept with multiple guys and then try to blame the fact that she was groomed? Or should I talk about Destin and how he got his girl, his wife now, and how she make the rules of him being the cuck? No woman, their plan has been realized. They want every woman to be attractive, and they want every woman to not be single. They have a very unrealistic position. They know that majority of men are left behind. It's impossible for 20 million, 30, 40, 50 million men to be millionaires. It's impossible for 60, 70 million people to have six-pack abs. It's impossible for 20 million guys to be just as funny as Dave Chappelle. It's impossible for everybody to say the right thing on every single cue. It's impossible. We know back in 1920s, the men of the past knew that some women were going to have to be at the bottom. That's why there were men at the bottom to marry them. But nowadays, the women who can't make the cut look-wise, they think that they're better than the men in the same level. You got homeless women thinking they're better than men with jobs because the men with jobs might not wear name brand clothes. Isn't that appalling? That you have homeless women thinking they're better than men with jobs and their own house. I don't have to lie. You got women with Down syndrome thinking they're better than the guys with Down syndrome. You got the women with one arm thinking they're better than men with one arm. Trust me. I trolled the girl with one arm and she rejected me. I'm telling you, because I really didn't care. I was just trying to see it. I was trying to see if I was going to get rejected by a girl with one arm. There's women that are 500 pounds who are not dating guys who are 500 pounds. There are women who are broke who don't want to date a broke guy. There are women who work at McDonald's who don't want to date a guy who works at McDonald's. The delusion has got to a point where all these women think that everybody's going to somehow level up, but they don't even understand that the government is supplementing their power, giving them all this money and giving them all this education to make them better than the men, while the men are out here struggling to find jobs and careers. And some of us have to find things that we don't even enjoy. We just got to do it because it makes money. And a lot of us have to maneuver ourselves out of woman-only places because the allegations and all the other shit that goes on when you're around a whole bunch of women. Nowadays, you have a 81-year-old woman being promoted like she's beautiful. We have in today's society right now too many overcrowded women in the dating scene who should be on the bench right now. Men don't have a problem being on the bench and quitting and leaving. If a lot of us don't make the cut, we don't give a fuck about that no more. We find another way or we just leave. If there was a football field that represent the dating market, and you would put different football fields out there, people who belong in the dating market and people who don't belong in the dating market, you will see so many people that don't need to be in the dating market at all. These are the women who go to areas where they don't like the men. These are women who go to, imagine this, they'll go to a place that has all short guys just to make fun of these short guys. They'll go to a place where there's nothing but ugly men. And they'll go talk about that they've all these ugly men. I never seen in my life guys who say they don't like single moms and turn around and go to websites that have single moms. I never saw in my life guys who don't want fat women, but they go to a website or a club just made for fat women. Most men don't go to places of the women they're not attracted to frequent. But the women, they do the exact opposite. They do it here online. They go to places where they shouldn't be at. Look at the Black Manosphere. The women are now have a overinflated ego, and it's not celebrities anymore. I told you this before. Women with some status and a job is not going to fuck down on ugly guy or undesirable guys. But the 10% of men fuck the dating market so fucked up where they don't feel that these women should be left behind. They're giving penis. A lot of these porn star, model type niggas, thug ass dudes are banging ugly, undesirable women. And these women taking that with them, thinking they're better than the men in their same category. So if a guy with a big penis with tattoos has sex with a whole bunch of nerdy girls, the nerdy girl's gonna be like, I'm better than the nerdy guys. If a fat, overweight, 500-pound woman gives money to a good-looking guy, attractive man, what happens? She thinks she's better than a 500-pound guy. The 10% of men always gonna fuck down. And the 10% of women never fuck down. So now, you have a system of leaving no woman behind and making every woman in society think they matter. And not make them realize that, just like they tell men, they need to stay in their lane. But you never hear it from these people to tell women to stay in their lane. We have this going on in today's society. An 81-year-old woman who is posing anywhere in the world. Most countries wouldn't consider this beautiful. Now this is going to promote older women to think they still have it. And then we're going to have to worry about older women thinking they can talk to younger men. Share anyone? There's now, you're going to see these women that are 70, 80, even 90 years old, thinking they can date guys in their 40s and thinking they can date guys in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s. Because society told them they still hot. Even though they're ugly and wrinkled. You have 500-pound women thinking they can get skinny guys because they see a couple other girls get them. Now, men are just going to be more and more left behind. It was the reverse. Now they're going to think that every man should bunk up. And you're going to hear this thing called, oh yeah, men need to step their game up. Men need masculine. You hear the so-called masculinity thing. They took power away from men to matter. You can never be equal in a relationship. Relationships are about one person having something that the other person needs. And they stay together for that need for each other. The thing that person doesn't have. In the past, in the 1900s, in the older generation, there'd be a man who was stoic. And he's not socializing. And he meets a woman who is a socialite and everything else. She likes that guy who don't be social, but he observes. They come together and he brightens his day up because he's with her. But she can't express that kind of stoicism. I mean, that kind of angriness or whatever. That kind of like hardness and toughness. Why you think so many people got mental issues out here? Because they're trying to be all this stuff at once and it doesn't work out. They overload. Why you think a lot of these people have anxiety? Because they got to be around everybody all the time. And they think everybody wants them and they got to look the best. Did you ever see people who say they look a mess when they wake up and you think they look just fine? And have you seen that there's guys who take about almost a half an hour to get dressed? We're in a society now that make men feel useless. You can't call on men when you need help and then say that women can do it all. Yeah, you can't sit here and say shit like, the hell? Come on, man. Yeah. You can't walk around here and say shit like, you can't sit here and walk around in here and say shit like women get physical labor jobs too, and they matter in society, and then try to put this bullshit of, oh yeah, well, nursing in nursing homes and stuff like that, and try to make that equivalent of a job that of electrician or a bunch of workers who put together a building, and they still do it to this day. Remodel buildings and take down buildings, take away things, clean out junk. That's mainly dominated by men. All the places these people go to, you don't see no women janitors. In this society, the reason why a lot of men are walking away because they gave all these women inflated egos to be consumers, to think they're better than everybody. I would never, ever trash a woman in her face. I'm hard on people online, but I will let down people easily unless they piss me off. If an overweight woman came up to me and was trying to date me, I'd be like, no thank you, my man. Oh, but I think you're cute. No, I have a small penis. And I'll try my best to say different things so she don't like it. There's plenty of people that try to act like something and I bounced it off. I know how to bounce people off of me. I would never try to take down and talk down to people. It's two sides to every story. The reason why some of these guys snap on these women. Some dudes are losers who can't take rejections. But when you sit here and put somebody down, call them creepy, call them weird just because they ask you a question, then you are the socially awkward person. But now, with these promotions and all this other stuff, we're seeing so many of this now, where none of these women feel like that. None of these women live in reality anymore. You got the Golden Girls. You got Everybody Loves in Cleveland. You got all these people who are now, you got society and media is preparing older women to think they still can be in a dating market instead of just hanging it up. There's no shows about older men posing that's still dating. There ain't no shows and there ain't no older guy taking his shirt off posing for a male magazine. Where's it at? There's no fat, unattractive guy in a magazine cover. You think that I'm lying? That a lot of these motherfuckers are not making sure that none of these women are left behind. This is right now is being promoted out here. Mind you, these are the same guys who tell you to go to the gym. Go to the gym, 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 go to the gym. Go to the gym, go to the gym. Like that shit is going to work anywhere. Literally, go to the gym, go to the gym. Why am I going to the gym when there's not enough great looking women around? So I'm supposed to take these egotistical, ugly ass women that you boosted up and what? Fight her ego every day? Where she gets to be 400 pounds thinking that she's better looking than the girl that's 110 pounds who has the best features. I'm gonna go to my stuff. Look at this, man. You got the overweight women on here just showing themselves. And this is promoting. This is the reason why these women are walking around with next to no clothes on, thinking they're sexy because nobody shames them and tells them they're ugly and overweight. You can't. Right? This is what kind of society that we're going to be in. The tipping point is when 90% of men leave. Right? Because there's a lot of men who don't see any use to being in the society because if you have money, they're going to try to tell you what to do. If you go somewhere else, they're going to call you a pedophile or call you a sex tourist, right? If you leave. So they're propping these women up. This whole plan of leave no woman behind is trying to prop these women up to live the single life forever. The same way with these dumb niggas like a Ramil Lemire and all these other dudes. We're going to see a whole bunch of people that are single out here trying to still be players. I can't live my life like that. Thinking 80 years old, I can still have sex with 40-year-olds. Or I'm 80 years old talking about pump and dump. What kind of fucking shit is that? Or trying to talk to nurses and shit. In other societies, the older people step the fuck back and they stay in their lane. And even if it's the younger, if you see older women, you got to seek these women out, these attractive women. They got attractive women in Brazil. They're not in the young women face. They know they'll lose. There's women all over the world who just stay in their own lane and they don't really bother the younger generation. The younger men go to them. But they never try to make it, try to get in the younger women's faces. You got all types of women being promoted nowadays. Women with skin conditions. Women with awkward faces. Women with no eyebrows. Women with bushes. Their armpits. Women who don't take showers. They're trying to push this shit on men dating women who have HIV. Like your boy Super Sly was trying to get everybody to do. Date women with HIV because it's medicine. You can take medicine for it. This chick right here has dated rappers because they promoted her to push her in a bigger category than she ever was. If she wasn't in this category, I don't care what you say. Oh, she look good. Nope. Because I know women, if they didn't have those skin conditions, I know one chick, if she didn't have that skin condition, she would look good. She can barely get a date. Because people still didn't like the skin condition. They was friends with her, but nobody never bragged about sleeping with her or even dating her. I never knew back in school nobody dated her. So this girl was backed by what? $billion companies. Ask yourself, all right? Why do they tell women that it's easy to have sex? It's easy for them to have sex with men than men to have sex with them. Because they think that it's easy for them to give us just next to nothing sex. Ask yourself this. Do every woman who talks about sex, do she tries anything different than the next woman? Why is there a small bit of sex enhancement pills for women and there's thousands of pills for men? Fake dick pills, fake stamina pills. There's a lot of shit for men. But that ain't a lot for women. I actually respect the women who take their ass to a doctor to get their vagina tightened after they've been whores or whatever, and then change their name and go somewhere else. I respect the ones who get the fuck out of this country and go to Korea, the Middle East, Brazil, or any other country because they didn't want nothing to do with it. They're ashamed of what they did to men. And they completely take themselves out. That's one thing that I respect about some people who leave. They get somewhere else, they leave. They take themselves out. Not take themselves out by, deleting themselves. No, they take themselves out the dating market because they know that they toxic motherfucking people. We have more toxic women in the dating scene than anything else. We're in a country where we can find every type of different ice cream if you think of it. But for some reason, there's not many different types of women no more. They all have the same mindset. They all think the same. And they all come with this nagging to destroy your life. I want you to understand, and I don't want anybody else to be a slave to their preference. A guy named Tyrese D. Shaw was in New York, and he loved Asian women. He didn't fit in with black women. He didn't like white women. I don't think he liked Latinos. He only liked the Asian women. Well, the young Asian women would reject him over and over and over and over again. But the older Asian women took advantage of this young man at the time and slept with him. But he was unfulfilled with old, dried up Asian women. So one day, or string of incidents, he went around and he was attacking Asian women. So, he was 25 at the time. He was going around asking women, and he didn't understand that he had a choice. Getting your passport. This is why I say MGTOW, SYSBM, passport bros. Everything under the sun is options than this shit. Then to hang yourself or go around attacking people because they reject you. This is the shit that I'm talking about when it comes down to there's dudes that out here that are trying, and they do everything that these piece of shit people tell them to do. They go to this club, they go to this club, they go to that club, they go to this convention, they go to that convention, they go to this convention, they go to that convention, they go to this bar, they go to that club, they go hiking, they go in some cooking class, they go on some bullshit colonics class for women, and it all fails. Because these women think the same thing. These women were programmed for the same thing. A guy like him wasn't programmed in these women's minds. Or to sit here and kiss a woman's ass while she gets to get dick down and she puts him through the vetting process. Because that's what happens nowadays. Oh, you're making her laugh, but she's getting dick down by a guy who she's more attracted to than you are. This guy got sick of it. And then he attacked 4 women. He had 4 attacks. So the women's ages was 41, 35, 34, and 29. This is why it's important to have options. In a country like America, we sure have limited men's options to date. We sure has limited options of men who want to work certain jobs. They have limit men to a point where you have to fit into 2 or 3 categories to get a woman. There's no more different categories for you to do anything unless you get outside the system. While you watch other men in other cultures and other races and other places do things and have 8 different ways to get in women, or 8 different ways to get whatever they want to get, while you're sitting around and you're limited. I don't want anybody to end up like this guy. So, I'm going to show you all this fucking, all this bullshit of going out failing, going out reading books, doing all this shit, the dating coaches and all this fucking dumb shit failed. It failed this young man. So let's read it. In less than 350 days, I talked to nearly 1,500 Asian women, and none of them took time out of their day to say hello. I became furious. I never agree with violence, but I knew the only way I could overcome that sense of rejection would be starting to assault the women that carelessly reject me. He continued, inform NYPD they could stop searching for me because I'm going to delete myself. Ashley, I'm going to tie a noose to the bottom of the elevator, and I'm going to wait until someone pushes the button. So that's not considered a practical takeout. This is actually taken out. Thank you. I love you. So 1,500 women this guy talked to. I told you, I told you people that all that bullshit of getting rejected over and over again, it does something to your fucking psyche. And all these fucking cities, all these women thought they were better than him. But the funny thing about, the sad thing about him was he thought that he could come to America. He thought he was going to sit here and talk to women in New York City. These women are programmed to like certain guys. Multiple races are programmed to like their own when they get to America. That's why you go to their country, because they're programmed. They already lived their life. They already seen certain people, and they're looking for new people. They're looking for somebody new. So it could have saved him. He could have saved himself by going overseas. So he went out real sad because he didn't find an option for himself. And dating coaches would have never helped him, because they would have tried to get him to self-improve to go out with women that he don't even want. You can't force somebody to eat food they don't want and say, just be happy you eating food, when they have the money to eat better food. Or you tell somebody that even when they become a millionaire, they still have to eat at McDonald's, because that's what they're supposed to be at. McDonald's level of food when they have the money to eat at 5-star restaurants. He had money. He had the ability to leave, but he got rejected because he stayed in one place. And he given wrong thing. I wish this is why I started making more. That's why I came on Facebook. I mean, this is why I came back to YouTube, because I'm like, yo, I'm looking at all these stories and a lot of guys saying how they rejected. I talked to some of these dudes when I was on Tiny Chat, on Facebook, and all these other social media sites, and they told me the same thing. None of this shit is working. Because of the women that they have to sit back and keep impressing, they get exhausted. Oh, it's working out. I can't even say anything wrong. I'm tired of this. I'm walking on eggshells. I can't do this no more. She thinks I'm not getting nothing out of it. Even guys who do get the vagina from these women, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. They're like, hey, man, I did everything I was told to do. This dude told me to do everything, and I feel like it wasn't worth it. I did all this work just for what? 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5, 6 minutes? This shit wasn't worth it. I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel full. And finally, I started, finally noticing that a lot of them felt like they're talking to empty ass women. These women were been around the block over and over again. These women were empty as hell. So why are you telling men to go to empty ass women and think they get fulfillment out of it just doing all this crazy shit? This is what he looked like. You have to understand the reason why the media, the government is now giving women this power. Because the fact is, they give women money and they get to wash the money that they give these women. These women are agents of chaos. I think that a lot of these women are tools for depopulation. I'm putting it out there. This leave no woman behind is the non-violent way of depopulation. Because you put these women on power, you give these women power, and you make a whole bunch of men say, fuck it, I don't want to have kids. And then that have more people. You have a gender of women who are easily controlled. But then you have a bunch of men who not going to want to date or do anything. So it'll decrease the numbers that you will see in the later years. It won't happen in my generation right now. I know it's not. But in like 20, 30, and probably more 20 or 30 years, we're gonna start feeling this shit. You're gonna have 80-year-old women still thinking that they can still do what they do. I'll show you the result of leave no woman behind. Here we go. So, this woman right here divorced her husband because she thought she can have a hot girl summer. Her husband bounced back fast. He had a little younger girl waiting for him automatically. Look, she was probably looking up to him. She grabbed him up super fast. This older woman who was 52 at the time, I still remember this story. Dr. Christopher Evers reportedly called the police to conduct a welfare check on his ex-wife, Marsha Edwards. A source said he was worried about their 24-year-old son's whereabouts. His ex-wife, 58, and their kids were found dead inside of the Atlanta home. Investigation suspect Marsha shot her children, then turned the gun on herself. Marsha was divorced from Dr. Edwards, prominent surgeon in Atlanta. So on the same day she took her own kids out with her, she had several pictures on there with the caption, "I had the best summer," first with Chris in Miami and in Italy. So, as I said before, if you read between the lines, you see that they promoted this woman and thought she was better than her husband, and she divorced her husband and didn't like the fact that divorced life, single life, she couldn't make it. The woman was named one of the most powerful women, the most powerful and influential women of 2019 by Women's Work Media Group. So basically they give her these lists, they give these women these lists to make them feel better than their husbands. And little bit by year, they divorce their husbands and think their husbands are beneath them. Mind you, both of them was prominent. The husband bounced back and basically was like, okay, you can get the kids. She didn't like her position in life. She popped her daughter, popped her son, and then popped herself. Now, these people were trying to act like the husband did it. But the husband left quietly. Just like these same people tried to say that the beauty pageant chick was a conspiracy. Then the mom had to come out and say, no, she tried this the first time. This is her second and final attempt. Everybody looks stupid. A lot of these people, a lot of these women in this society, you're going to deal with, nobody live in reality anymore. They're all delusional. Nothing could happen. Everybody's rainbowing candies. Oh, the women ain't like that. You got to go out there and search 1 million women and blah, blah, blah. It becomes more exhausting being a man than it is them. Because nobody gas us up. Who gasses up men in America? Every man in America. Do the fat overweight guy get gassed up? Do the guy with no job get gassed up? Do the homeless man get gassed up? Do the fat overweight guy get gassed up? Who the guy who can't speak to women get gassed up? No, we get bullied, right? We get bullied. All that we get bullied. Every man out here at the lowest bottom, the 80% of men all get bullied. And everybody take the bully pill, and we see video after video after video cracking on men, talking down to men, laughing at men, making men feel like shit, thinking that every man could be a superstar when they can't. I can show you more and more and more videos and scenarios of women taking their lives because somebody told them that they were better than what they was. So I'm going to show you exactly what I was talking about when it comes down to them pushing this narrative of women being better than men and leaving no woman behind. So you're going to see a couple of videos, and then we'll be done with this. God damn it. Where's it at? Whoop.
Claritin knocks out symptoms from over 200 allergens without knocking you out. Live Claritin Clear.
You can get a free medium 2-topping pizza delivered with your next online order when you use the code word pizza.
If you were to look at me, you would think I'm just a normal little girl doing normal little girl things with my fun, crazy family. I have no clue what lane you're in.
Because you're supposed to sit up.
I am sitting up. I still can't see over the dashboard. But the truth is, I'm not a little girl. I'm a woman. A 22-year-old woman. Stuck in the body of an 8-year-old.
We can't have children at the bar.
I want to get a tattoo.
How old are you?
There is an age requirement.
I'm 22.
Shauna was 6 months old when we found out she had brain cancer.
My pituitary gland was rendered almost dormant because of the chemotherapy. The doctor told me I was done growing. My bones were fused, and my height is 3 feet and 10 inches.
I feel, I guess, almost guilty that she will have to go through this for the rest of her life. So all I can do is protect her.
Even though I physically can't grow up, I desperately want to be treated like a grown-up.
What are we going to say in your bio?
My relationship status is single. I'm short. Leave me alone. I attract creeps, and idiots.
Okay. And as you see, they try to do an emotional thing, and she goes and calls someone a creep and assholes. This is what Leave No Woman Behind breeds. Instead of her being humble about it and say, hey, you know, there's guys who, you know, come out and try to, you know, fetishes and stuff like that. She calls them creeps. Like, she can afford to call people that when she's in a desperate situation. But this is the ego that I'm telling you about what these women have. Even when I can tell you a story about a woman with cancer It was this chick who had cancer on Facebook. She would never show her real pictures, but she was dying. And I think she did pass away. She was extremely shallow on her last days living. Every time somebody would try to console her, be her friend, be cool, because some people knew that she had cancer, because she posted it, she would diss them and say all this other stuff. And I'm like, even in your deathbed, you're shallow? And when I see some shit like that, I said, wow, something going on. And then I started figuring it out. This is years ago. But hey, let's continue.
Yes, it is scary to put myself out there, but you have to put some risk in to get happiness. So today I am going on a blind date. Hi, I'm Shauna.
Hi, Shauna.
You're anybody who dating her is taking a risk because what she looks like. Instead of her dating a midget, staying in her fucking lane, she's going around trying to date people in average size. They have midgets. She's not going to try to find somebody who has the same condition as her. So she has to have what everybody else has.
I thought that I was being punked or something at first.
I do desire more independence for my family because I can't go anywhere without them asking questions.
Who are you going to the brewery with? Who's driving? When are you going to be back? Be careful.
I've tried to put my foot down with my parents about doing more independent things. They're going to buy a house, and then they're going to be like an addition. And that's to be like that. My year to shine.
See? Now, let's see.
Want a worry-free way to kill bugs?
Jesus, man. I hate these ads. My bad.
Zevo traps use light to attract and trap flying insects with no odor and no mess. They work continuously, so you don't have to. Zevo, people-friendly, bug-deadly.
The fashion industry is very superficial, so you've got to be unique to stand out. Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most unconventional models. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're considering anyone with a unique look, regardless of their age and gender. These people defy the rules of the fashion world and command respect.
She has dreams to be an envy, so she's...
Number 10, Ashley Graham. Ashley Graham is a plus-size model with voluptuous curves. She is especially known for having broken the pre-established rules set for models her size. She was featured in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue magazine, a solid first for this magazine. She was also on the cover.
As you see, swimsuit magazine, that's the initial ability to break the so-called mold of average shit. There would never be any acceptance of men with smaller penises. There will never be acceptance of men who are ugly. There will never be acceptance of gamers. There will never be acceptance of men looking bad and dressing bad. There'll never be a group of people with nappy hair, men with nappy hair. But I bet you in the later years, we're going to see a bunch of women that smell real bad, and they're going to try to get men to it. They're going to try to get everybody to accept it. Or women who have all this different stuff, bumps on their faces and stuff, and we supposed to accept it because it's supposed to be beautiful. I'm telling you, they're going to keep pushing the limits.
Of British Vogue and posed nude for Grazia magazine. Graham immortalized her killer body by creating her very own Barbie doll so that little girls finally get to play with dolls of more than one shape and size.
Voila!
Number 9, Andrea Pechik. Previously named Andre, Andrea Pecic is an Australian Bosnian-born transgender model. Modeling both masculine and feminine clothing, she was featured in Vogue magazine, wearing a Jean-Paul Gaultier wedding gown. She created controversy in the US when she appeared topless on the cover of Dossier magazine. In 2014, she transitioned into a woman and decided to work exclusively as a female model, whereas on the other hand, Olympic swimmer Casey Legler is the first woman to work exclusively as a male model. These are two great examples which shows that gender does not always define a person.
Look, there is also this other way, and it's really rad.
Number 8, Jillian Mercado.
Right out the airport, it's my billboard for the campaign I did. And I was like, wow, that looks so beautiful there.
Jillian Mercado is a model and journalist with muscular dystrophy. She was first discovered after being featured in a campaign for Diesel. She decided to participate as a joke, thinking she would never get chosen, but Beyoncé chose her as a model for her online clothing line. Further to this success, Jillian decided to turn her disability into a positive thing and launched her career as a professional model. And in 2015, she signed with IMG, a famous New York modeling agency. Kudos to Jillian for defying the odds.
It has not been easy, but I'm very content of where I am right now.
And imagine that a woman like this can be promoted by $1 billion industry, but I bet you a man, he'd be told that he need to give up dating by these fucked up ass dating coaches. But hey, I'm the only one trying to tell you this shit right here. It's impossible to date in a society that tells every one of them that they're more important and they shouldn't live in reality.
Number 7, Molly Bear.
Being confident and happy is great.
Since 2015, everyone has been talking about Molly Bear. Her alien-like shaped head, as some describe it, her big ears and extremely thin frame are stirring up controversy. Nicknamed the Praying Mantis, she attended all the New York Fashion Week events and even walked the runways for Chanel. Molly, who compares herself to a 13-year-old boy, does not quite understand all the hype. Pegged as an anorexic, she is the poster girl for Pro Ana, a group of young girls who starve themselves to achieve an unhealthily low body weight. Her stature is reigniting the ongoing debate in the world of fashion, which has favored extremely thin models in the past. Number 6, Daphne Self.
Oh yes, I don't do nude anymore.
Though she's nearly a century old, Self is still modeling for top designers like Dolce & Gabbana and is featured in magazines such as Vogue. She claims she's never used plastic surgery to preserve her looks. Her career began in 1949, but it was
only in this feminist society that we have an older woman thinking that she can still be having a beauty standards. But we don't have no older men out here being male models. Hey, look, Fresh and Fit ain't gonna tell you this shit. Gross Greg Adams, they not telling you this shit. The reason why men are losing and all of this stupid ass game and shit ain't gonna never get you nowhere because you are against a fucking juggernaut. It's better to walk the fuck away or get the fuck out of this country and get out of this system. Because you're up against this bullshit and you're gonna lose 100% of the time.
Age of 70 that it really took off. Simply orange juice. Fresh squeezed taste that puts the in OJ. Say yes to 100% Simply orange juice.
Dawn Power Wash has 3 cleaning boosters not found in traditional dish soaps. It's more than soap, it's power wash.
Her male alter ego is Chinese model Liu Xiangping. In 2012, at 72 years old, this Chinese grandfather showed off her male alter ego is China.
One guy, and that's in China. We ain't got nobody in the
Chinese model Liu Number 3 and Beyonce.
Okay, let's
There are articles all around the world with
Nastya Kamarova. She's an albino model who is taking the world by storm. She's the only one in her family with this condition. She says her parents have a darker complexion. Beyond those snowflake eyelashes, Nastia, aka Kimmy, has poor eyesight brought on by albinism. But don't worry about Nastia. She's doing just fine. She's worked all over the world as a fashion model, and her fans adore her. When Mary Claire did a story on Nastia's journey as a model in Taiwan, fans applauded her. One fan said that Nastia is an angel and an inspiration. Rain Dove. This gender non-conforming model started their career on a bet with a friend who insisted that Rain try modeling with her. BuzzFeed called them the androgynous model of your dreams. This trailblazer can be seen modeling a men's shirt and pants with heels and with men's shoes. They refused to be put in any sort of category or box. Rain pushed their agency to include them on both male and female casting jobs and encountered a lot of resistance from the more conservative staff members of the agency. But Rain eventually found their way onto the cover of Italian Vogue. Madeline Stewart. She's the first professional supermodel with Down syndrome. She told her mom she wanted to be a model when they went to a fashion show together. She was only 17 at the time. Her mom arranged for a photo shoot for her daughter.
It's funny as shit, man, that men with Down syndrome can't get no work, can't get any sex, but, you know, women can get it. I don't have to show you that the fact is that women can't talk about victim mentality anymore, because the fact is they just getting catered to. The Leave No Woman Behind movement, society basically tells them that they can do anything they want. And they're given money, they're throwing money at them to make sure that women are more on top. So this is not really men competing with women. This is them cheating. Them cheating they're cheating their ass off, and they got a lot of help. This is mostly how can I put it? It's synthetic empowerment and synthetic competing. It's like somebody, imagine you got two guys. One guy is natural and he been working out for 10 years to get at his position. And then you got the other guy who come in and been using performance enhancing drugs, and he get there in 2 years. And people think the guy who got there in 2 years is better than the guy who been in for 10 years. Until it comes out the guy that came out in 2 years was juicing. But by that time, the guy that did it for 10 years and got all his accolades, he already gone. So we're competing against a synthetic system that is boosting these women up for them to be better than every man that they can meet.
She posted the pictures on Facebook, and that's when the
Jesus, man. I can't say nothing, but, you know,
offers started rolling in. People were calling and asking if Madeline would be interested in walking the runway in Paris and New York. They wanted her to be a part of Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week in China. She's been a big hit ever since, and it's no surprise when you see her.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Come on, man. Be real. I'm sorry, but ain't no way. I'm
owning that runway. Ilka Brühl. Her goal in life is to remind the world that everyone is beautiful. This German model has not let her rare facial defect stop her from taking absolutely breathtaking photos. She explained to Project Limitless that she...
Oh my God. Jesus, man. But somehow, some way, game and swag. Somehow, some way, you gotta men always gotta be the built guys, and always gotta, you know, we gotta be the whole funny and all this other stuff. And then you got these women with deformities, and they got asshole personalities. But somehow, some way, they end up with kids. Okay, sure.
was born with a facial cleft, and that her shades. Appearance. Anak Ye. All women. Elia Sophia. Her face is the perfect combo of big, wide-set eyes and full, pouty lips. Shudu Gram. If you think someone with such a perfect facial structure and unique skin tone can't possibly exist, you'd be right. Welcome to the world of computer-generated... She's not even real. Maeva Gianni. Maeva Gianni. Way we look. Issa Lish. Her old nickname with pride. Her unique Devin Aoki. When people body type. Casey Leka Irvin. When Erica was only 14 years old, she was already 5 feet 11 inches tall.
So, I mean, yeah, it's progressively gotten.
They say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and that's true, of course. Aya Astagren. Sophia.
It's so fucking funny that when they say beauty is an eye on the beholder, but they tell men they gotta go to the gym. They tell men they gotta go get dressed up. They tell men they gotta do this and gotta do that. And then they tell you gotta work harder and work harder because you look ugly. And then the women who got the same defect and look the same way, they want to walk around here with egos.
Haji Pentelli. Step aside, Cara Delevingne, because Greek Cypriot American.
When people ask me where I draw my creative inspiration from, I've always said, I just start looking right in front of me. The world's a gallery. What do you see?
American Sophia Haji Pentelli is here to raise some brows. The stunning model was born and raised in Cyprus and thanks her regional genes for her impressively thick brows. Molly Bear, 5-dimensional model. Now her Instagram. Melting her skin since she was 4. People focus less on anyone because what she preaches.
People that need to be.
Diversity. Deandra Forrest. What she preaches. Ducky Thought. The South Sudanese Australian model Ducky Thought was getting
It lacked a lot for black people that need to be.
Rare chromosomal disorder which causes facial disfigurement, and in Caitlin's case, it left her with show-stopping cat-like features, particularly in the eyes. But she's proud to defy beauty standards by being the antithesis of what.
So you telling me that you're gonna wake up to her in the morning? My brothers, you gonna want to wake up to her in the morning? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Sure. And it's more of this shit right here. More. It's more. So let me get you right off right here, man. Let me get this right off here, man. So no matter what the fuck you try to tell me, no matter what you try to tell me about beauty standards, I would never, ever think that them type of chicks are ugly. We live in a reality world. I will continue to like women that I want to like, even if I don't get them. But the fact is, I can get women who are closer to that because I live in reality. I would never think that those women that they try to promote is my beauty standards. I like women who look like this. No, not her. Not her either. Not her either. Her, yes. I have my own standards. And they don't look. No. That's a picture. Remember, that was from another thing. Don't do it. Don't try to say some shit. Not her either. Not her either. That was me making a point. Her. I would never, ever, ever let these piece of garbage people in power and anybody else tell me what to like, what not to like, who to sleep with. None of that. You can control the soy boys. You can control all of them. These women right here, the way some of them look, I will continue to think that these women are more attractive than the women that they try to promote. Go back to the Blasian right here. You're not trying to reprogram me into liking people that I don't want to like. You're not going to do that. You ain't going to do that at all. You're not going to do that to me. Let me finish this video off. It's no conspiracy theory. When I see an 81-year-old woman on a swimsuit and promoting her, and that's going to make you think, I don't give a fuck what you piece of shit garbage. Don't listen to anybody else about how we looking online. Women are 100% consumers, and women are 100% hive mind. If they see 10 women get away with something, 20 women are going to think it's okay. And then 20 women are going to turn to 200. 200 going to 2,000. 2,000 going to turn to 20,000. 20,000 going to turn to 2 million. And 2 million going to turn into 20 million. And then it's going to turn to 200 million. That's how it goes. The media gives them things. I don't want to hear about online women don't talk like this in real life. They don't think like this in real life, because if it wasn't like this, then there wouldn't be high infidelity among these ugly, fat, unattractive women. I'm telling you right now, the infidelity when it comes down to the unattractive women is up here. The amount of men who in jail right now for putting women in the ground because they were ugly and they lied to them and all this other stuff, or guys who took themselves out for, all this other stuff. Let's not try to live in reality, man. You can't give up. The best thing you can do is come up with better options than what they try to give you. And if you want to be single for a long time, then you grab as much money and resources as you can to hunker down and die on your own terms. I don't want you to take your life, but myself included, I'm telling my plan. I'm going to tell you my plan. My plan is to try to make a 401k plan. My own 401k. Save up 401k. Once I get that money, try to open a business. And the majority after I'm finished that, the rest of my life, if I don't travel the world and find that right one around the world, I will literally adopt or use a surrogacy, or I will spend my days being a gamer, anime, and I will stop my lineage right now. I don't mind dying with a controller in my hand. I don't mind dying at an old ass age watching some anime. You think that I can't afford a nurse? And I might have to get money for that. I don't mind dying alone. It's better than dying from somebody else's plan. A lot of people need to hunker down and realize what they're trying to make you do. They want these women to feel more empowered every single day. And you're not supposed to look at women like this and think she's an option to you. She's not supposed to be an option to you. You're supposed to say, no, she's out of my league. Mind you, she's a pretty behind Japanese boxer. Oh, man. But getting kind of lost. My bad. That's what beauty does. Real beauty. Not the beauty they trying to get you. I'm telling you right now. Us men, we're not catered to. They don't give a fuck about us. You need to be as selfish as you can be. And don't listen to anybody about marriage, relationships, or any of that bullshit. Because as I just showed you and proved to you, that we're living in a leave no woman behind society. That means they want every woman in this country to have an ego. Every country that's in feminism to have an ego. And they don't want them to have any rules and regulations. If you have that kind of society, at some point, the men are going to leave. The men are going to feel like they're not wanted. And in a society, you're supposed to. No one, I mean no one is supposed to be good at everything. You're supposed to have people that are good at something and bad at some other things so they can fit with people who are good at what they need. It's not good to try to be everything at once. And it's not good to try to do things that your body can't handle, your mind can't handle, and you can't handle. But in this society, we're in a feminist society where everybody think they can shoot for the stars. Everybody think they can become entrepreneurs. Everybody think they can make 6 figures. Everybody think they want to be a celebrity. Everybody thinks they can be a rapper. Everybody thinks that they can be beautiful. Everybody thinks they can do this and do that. Everybody thinks they can do this and this and that. And you got the people who are out here unhinged, destroying all types of rules and regulations and red tape. At some point, this shit is going to explode. Should I show you what happens when you make women more ego than anything else? Let me show you. The hell? Are you serious? You just knocked me off? You just knocked me off and I just asked the question?
Let your curls sing with Carol's Daughter Black Vanilla.
This woman duped hundreds of guys who...
Now, I'm never going to forget what this looked like when one woman got hundreds of men to come out to see just her. This chick went into hiding because nobody fucks with her no more after she did this shit. But she showed how much power one woman had in the dating market, which was scary. I asked this question to the game dudes. I asked this question to everybody. If women like good men, if good men made an event right now, today or tomorrow, could you think that all these so-called good women will show up? No. Certain men in society has fan clubs, but the shit that they trying to sell us to men to go outside and do all this other shit, we don't see the benefits other than this shit right here.
Thought they were going on a Tinder date with her. The huge crowd of men looking for love gathered in Manhattan for a chance to woo this beautiful actress.
I have everyone here today to be on a date with me.
But when they showed up, Natasha Aponte told them they'd be battling it out to win her affection.
No beer bellies, no long beards, no bald guys, you gotta go.
Natasha began...
And you heard her. No beer bellies, no long hair, no this and no that. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm happy the backlash happened with this chick because she disappeared. Like, you really can't look her up like that because people don't fuck with her like that. But at the time, this shit went under the radar. You can openly say this shit about men. Now, for some reason, you want more men to go out there and do this shit over and over again. There's no incentive no more. When every fucking woman think that they can have 100 men at her beck and call. And some of them usually do. And this is what I'm talking about. Nobody has time to go on multiple dates and waste their fucking time as grown ass people. Nobody doesn't. I told you before that in a dating scene, we have people that unnecessarily shouldn't be in the dating scene. Everybody knows what they really want. There's a reason why I'm not in the fucking dating scene going out here dating, going on dates, because I know I got a whole damn system made just to weed out certain women. I got a rule called the 1-drop rule. That 1 drop of bullshit that you have that I see in every other woman, you're done. Because this is how I see it. If somebody drops a small teardrop of poison in your drink, would you still die from it? Could you still catch a disease if you have it in your body 1%? Yeah, it will grow. So the best turn is to catch it when it's small and get it the fuck out of here. Women have certain music, who they watch on TV, who they watch on YouTube, who they talk about, who they voted for, who they talk to, their friends, the family, their past issues, everything that I analyze. Most people can't make the cut. I cannot have the wrong people in my life at this stage in my life. And you're not going to definitely waste my fucking time. But that's the thing. I know what I want. And every man who don't go outside and do all this stuff, a lot of people who tell us to do that shit, we already did it. And we try to tell you that, hey, this shit ain't working. And millions of men are telling you it ain't working. But nobody talks about the fact is that every woman now has an ego. Every woman is not, no woman is left behind in this society. They're making it, now they're trying to make sure that every woman in this society feels like they're better than the men. Every woman in society is going to walk around saying, I'm better than this guy. I tell you, there's homeless women with missing teeth who think they better than guys with teeth. There's guys out here, there's women out here that are on drugs, straight on drugs, think they better than sober guys who got it right, who doing it right. There's a lot of different things that I've seen. There's women out there laughing at guys who homeless. And you look at them and he laughing at you and you like, what the fuck? I could laugh at you right now, but I'm not going to do it because you're homeless and I'm not. But it's funny. This is what we're going into now. Stop listening to these fucking idiots trying to tell you to keep going out in this dating scene that you're going to step on landfills. You're going to step on landmines every time you walk out and blow yourself up. And mind you, you're not Superman. So you're going to have missing limbs, missing body parts, and they still going to tell you to go out there. The shit is done. It's over here. They are backed by too many people. The media is gassing these motherfuckers up. Social media is gassing them up. And one thing that I'll tell you before I'm about to be bounced is the fact is that a lot of these women are on social media. If you tell men to get off social media, women ain't gonna just disappear. You dumb fucks. Oh, don't date. Don't date on social media. Don't date in these. Date face to face. Guess what? You stupid fuck. There ain't no guidelines to Pacific people because now the women broke that shit. Anybody can go to any place and fuck up that position in that place. If you put rules and regulations into place, they're going to complain and get it shut down. If somebody says we don't want these type of women here, this type of woman here, this type of woman, we want these group of people to meet up and date. We don't have that type of place in America. They got it overseas, but they don't have it in America where it's like, hey, we don't want these particular women dating this. We don't have get-togethers in America to get certain people together that need to date. We have this mix-up of people wasting each other's time because it makes people rich when you waste time with other people that you're not supposed to waste with.